Hello my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my channel today. This is the photograph that I am scrapbooking for Scrap the Boys. So this first section is an idea I'd come up with that I saw Kiri, I think is how you pronounce it, share, and I was really inspired, but you'll see that I get so far and it just doesn't work for me. So the theme this month is winter is coming, and this is a photo of my youngest from last year, so 2020, starting Auskick, which is the junior footy here in Australia, and it is a winter sport. And when I say footy, I mean AFL, so Australian Rules Football. And so this was as we started off Auskick for the year. It was a short season, thank you COVID, but my boys were both happy to be back, and yeah, this was his first day back, I think. So I've got a photo that I'm going to be using. Now, I loved the way on Kiri's page how she had all of these things laid. It looked amazing. I loved the folded back. They're not corners, but they are corners. And you can see I'm mucking around here, and I had about half an hour's worth of footage of me shuffling embellishments around, but I just couldn't get it to work in a way that I liked. So I do give up on this idea, but I do find some pieces by doing this that I do want to include on the actual page that I create. So I'm working with the Coco Miller Studio Boys Rule Collection. I seriously have a mountain of this product. I think I bought it. I think I got some as part of a design team. I actually am not really sure how I ended up with so much of it, but luckily I do love it. I love the colors. I love the design. I mean, what's not to love? It's a Coco Vanilla Studio collection. So I turned my camera off and went to bed. I was like, this is not working for me. I give up and I'm moving on. What I decided to do, I have joined Chamel's newest class, which is half and half. So this page was inspired by, I think, the first layout that she shared, which obviously I'm not going to be sharing because it's part of a class, but half and half, I think that gives you the idea of, half pages. I've mounted my photo on some white cardstock. I've used these two patterns for my background. I've used Entitled, I think is the blue one with the swirls, and then the other is Happy Go Lucky with the stars. I knew I wanted to include a layer of that wood grain immediately behind my photo, and so you can see I start with one idea here, and I'm thinking that I'm going to layer all these pieces up. It does take me a little while to find my groove with this page. I'm not really sure why, but it did. So I do shuffle things around a bit, but once I finally get to a design idea that I like, it starts to come together pretty easily. I knew that I wanted to include that hello as part of my title, and I knew that I wanted to include that camera. I love that camera. It's so cool. I think I ended up with 3 packs of the ephemera, and I think that's the last camera that I have. Like I said, I don't know how I ended up with 3 packs of everything from this, but just lucky, I guess. These guys, I think, are from the Miscellany pack, which is another ephemera, but it's all labels and tags and stuff. Okay, so now I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. I've moved the camera to the other side. There's actually people in the background of my photo there that I didn't want to see. So I've just covered them up with the camera. I've layered that tag behind, but I do feel like the tag is blending in a little bit too much. And then I'm like, oh, that makes it pop. Okay, so I'm going to, what am I doing? I think in the back of my mind I'm going, yes, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use that black, which means I need to bring some black down here. I start with these couple of pieces, and then I was like, adventure, I really like that. And then that gives me that diagonal from obviously the top left to the bottom right of the photo. Then I'm going to layer a few pieces underneath this adventure tag. And again, these are from the ephemera pack and the miscellany pack, I think. So I'm just going to be adding a few layers here. You will see in a minute that I kind of go, oh my gosh, this is driving me insane, because every time I go to put something else down, the whole lot moves. I'm like, ah! I found another tag to go up here. You can see I've started sticking all the pieces together. So I think I don't make you watch me stick all the pieces, because you've seen me place them all where I want them. So yes, I did want to, like I said, include some of that black, but I wanted to make sure that you couldn't see part of the black behind the tag holes. I didn't want half see-through and half not. So I've made it big enough that you can see the hole. You can see the black through the hole in the tag. Oh my goodness, I can't speak today. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I am distressing all the edges of everything. I've just managed to spill coffee on myself. And I think I've got at least part of that I've got most of that right-hand cluster stuck together. I'm adding in a bit more black here because I feel like it definitely needs it. And I'm like, nope. So I do go with it underneath there. You can see I'm just sticking that down. And then I'm like, okay, so I wanted a third piece of that black. So you can see what I'm working on here. I've got that visual triangle from the top of the page to the left of the photo to the bottom right of the photo, and that gives you that visual triangle. My journaling is going to go up to the top here. And so I kind of went, okay, well, if I'm going to create a cluster up the top here, I want to include some of the bits of all of the papers and things that I've got down the bottom. So you can see I'm playing with that tag. I've got a couple of pieces of scraps there. And then I've got this offcut of a tag. And then I'm like, what am I missing? I'm missing the dark blue. So I'm going to add some of that in as well. And I'm pretty happy with what I've got going on up here. So I'm going to stick it all down. Just making my layers so they're a bit offset. I love this little tag. I thought that I would be adding my journaling there. All of my bits are not sticking together, so I pull it all apart. Well, I didn't pull it apart. It fell apart and I restuck it. Don't you hate that? So I'm just curling up the corners to make it all a bit more distressed. Like I said, I have distressed the edges of everything on here. Just adding a bit of dimension there so that it sits flat. And I'm going to come in with my tiny attacher, add a couple of staples to these two tabs. And I'm going to make sure I add some staples to the top as well. Alright, I'm really happy with the way this is looking, so I'm going to stick it all down. I don't know, but I knocked my camera. I'm so sorry. I'm adding my title in there, so you can see I've placed the hello, and then I'm using these alphas from Pinkfresh Studio to spell out Auskick. They are little black puffies, which are really cute, just the right size to fit down there. And then I'm going to use these little white banners with a black font on them from Ellie Studio. So down the bottom I'm putting 2020, and then up the top, now I've put in a subtitle up the top which says post-COVID, which I realise that it's still happening, it's still a thing, but this was like immediately after, not immediately, but soon after we were lucky enough to kind of go back to almost normal last winter. So that's why I've gone with the post-COVID up the top, because that was kind of how we all felt at the time. We were like, okay, we're good, and yeah. So what have I done? I've added my journaling up to the top there, and I think I've just put in there, you know, with so many things that we're unsure, we weren't even sure if we were going to get a footy season at all, so we were really excited to be heading back down to the footy ground for the season. And then I've added some journaling to the left and the right of the photo. The right says distanced spectating. And then the left, I'm just getting the layout. The left says, we are all so happy this is the last year of both weekend days devoted to footy. So we were, our bigger boy has game, so he trains twice a week. This was last year, trained twice a week and had games on Friday night or Saturday morning, and our little guy had Auskick training on Sunday morning. So we had both mornings at least every weekend through winter devoted to footy, which has been, I think, last year was our 4th year. So it's really nice. So footy season has started this year and we don't have Sunday mornings anymore, which is very exciting. Adding my staples in up to that top cluster, I wanted to come in with a few sprinkly bits. So I'm using these little black gems from my stash. I do go in and add them all in, and then I'm like, I think I need something else. So yeah, I'm just going to scatter those all the way down the page, and then I come in with some Nouveau drops. This first one is one of the crystal drops called Midnight Blue, and then the other one is one of the stone drops, and it is called Boulder Grey. Now, I also decided I wanted to add some black splatters, and I completely picked the wrong paintbrush. But you didn't know there was a wrong paintbrush to do splatters with. It looks okay in the end. As I was splattering them though, I was like, oh my goodness, these are totally like being stupid splatters. But that is my layout completed. I have off camera added some stitching, which you'll see in the close-ups, and twine to those tags. So yeah, this is our challenge for Scrap the Boys for May. Winter is coming. Can't wait to see what you create. So make sure you upload over on the Facebook group for your chance to be guest designer. Make sure you head over to the Scrap the Boys blog as well for all of the design team inspiration. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave them below. I hope that I have inspired you to get some of those winter photos scrapbooked. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them below. I will talk to you in my next video. Have a fantastic scrappy day.